Aaron Rodgers handles San Francisco's pressure could be the determining factor in Saturday's divisional round matchup. For the first 10 weeks of the season, Rodgers ranked last in QBR when pressured, throwing just 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. But since week 11, he ranks 9th in QBR under pressure, throwing 4 touchdowns and no picks. It's worth noting since week 14, though, the 49ers defense leads the NFL in pressure percentage. It's something they do well. So, Dan, if we do see the 49ers try to pressure Rodgers this weekend, where should the focus for Rodgers be in the passing attack?
Yeah, the ball's got to get to the perimeter, get to the sidelines. And I think a huge key for the game in Green Bay's offense is how well he does that consistently, getting the ball out before receivers are ready for it, and then having tremendous ball placement. I don't expect the 49ers defensively to try to come after Aaron Rodgers a ton. But I think that they're going to play their zone defense and believe that their front four can have an impact. Now, the better job that Aaron does of making sure to beat that rush, push the ball to the perimeter, and attack the weakest part of this defense is a really big deal. Now, it's something Aaron Rodgers does very well. But let's say Davante Adams, they're not going to allow Davante to do that. Let's say they try to minimize his touches. Then it's got to be a guy like Lazard on the outside or maybe some of the RPOs. But Aaron's got to do a really good job of getting it out of his hands, kicking the ball to the perimeter where there's going to be soft coverage and methodically moving down the field.
How big of a deal is it to have Marquez Valdez-Scantling out in this game?
Yeah, it could be impactful when they try to take the ball downfield, when they try to push coverage and kind of elevate the top of the defense and try to get some intermediate throws in there. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is their guy, but Aaron's good enough to figure out a way to overcome that with some of the ball placement in the zones of windows or windows of zones.
You mentioned Adams, and you said, you got to try to, neutralize him as much as possible. He's going to get his. There's no question about it. In 5 games, he's averaging 120 yards a game against him. So we already know that. But spread the wealth around. You mentioned Lazard. There's a Cobb in there. Figure out how to utilize Randall Cobb. Figure out if, in fact, Equanitas St. Brown is on the field. If you can figure out how to just utilize the wealth of talent, because much like you mentioned, Dan, the secondary is not very good for the San Francisco 49ers. They depend on the pass rush to get there so they don't have to hold up multiple seconds. And if that doesn't happen, Aaron Rodgers will have a field day.
Keith, thank you for leading me there, my brother, because if we do have a tight game in the fourth quarter, it's going to have to be the 4-man rush for the San Francisco 49ers. We all remember the first game when Aaron Rodgers made 2 deep shots to Davante Adams late in that game and allowed them to get in field goal range. Here you are right here, and when you pay attention to up front at the rush, it was not enough pressure. You get a chip on Bosa here, the 17-yard, and also that DB. I don't know, you didn't see it in the screen, but the cushion and the respect of Davante Adams that they give Davante Adams in those particular situations. You are going to have to challenge the Green Bay Packers. And I know it's scary. I know it's a slippery slope because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. But if the San Francisco 49ers find themselves in that mode again, that 4-man rush, somebody's going to have to get home. Somebody's going to have to move Aaron Rodgers off his spot. And please, for the love of God, don't sit 9 yards off of Davante Adams when he only needs 15 to get him in the field goal range in that particular situation. Close the game, San Francisco, if you have an opportunity at the end of it.
You know, one thing, too, guys, Nick Bosa, of course, going through concussion protocol. There was some optimism out of 49ers practice even today about him potentially playing. They'd have until Saturday for him to be, cleared past the protocol. So that could be huge when it comes to the pressure of Aaron Rodgers. All right, so you just heard Adam talking about Cobb potentially being activated. New on NFL Live, the Packers did activate wide receiver Randall Cobb off of injured reserve. It literally happened while Adam was talking a couple minutes ago. So that's another big weapon for Aaron Rodgers and this team, even though MVS likely not to play.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.